Welcome.
Good morning. Yes. So good morning, everyone. So here we are with the first episode of Legally Positive from the Maven Magic Group. February is the month of love because everyone associates it with love. And March is the month for women. Women rock in this month. And we are starting off with this new program with Fatima, upcoming established lawyer, and she's going to enlighten us about the rights of women. So it's all about women in this month. So I invite you, Fatima, to take over the floor and give some insights about how can women establish their rights in society. Be aware of them also. I think half of them are not even aware of them.
Absolutely. So, hi everyone. This is Fatima, as Meenu has given me a very lovely, warm welcome in the morning. Now, we are going to be talking about a very important discussion today about women's rights, which I feel is very prevalent, rampant all over, not only in India, but I think all over the world, where women are really deprived of the basic rights. If I'm not wrong, we also have the International Women's Day coming up now. So I think it's the best time to talk about women's rights. No better time than this.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yes. So let's begin with what are the rights that we today on this platform are really aware or abreast of as women. Let's begin from there. Meenu, would you like to give me some inputs on what you are aware of?
Not much. Like as a layman, we're just aware that yes, we have some rights. Maybe to the property, because I think recently there was a ruling that girls will have equal rights in the property.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Spot on.
Yeah.
So under the Hindu Succession Act, there was an amendment wherein women also have equal rights to the property, even if she's married to her father's property.
Yeah.
Equal rights or equal share or equal partition to the estate of her father post his death, just as a son has. So that is really groundbreaking in a lot of ways, because initially women didn't have these basic rights. Women have been really fighting for their rights all throughout, and even today as we speak, it is very basic or inherent that we exercise our rights, we are aware of our rights, so we live a life of dignity. We just do not merely exist. We need to live life to its fullest, and for that we need to invoke our rights, and we need to invoke the remedies available under law as well, so that we can enjoy a fulfilled life. Now, the first right that I would like to discuss is about right to maintenance. How a woman has a right to maintenance when she's married or even divorced. So assuming she's divorced and not remarried, she can still claim her right to maintenance from her husband. So when I say right to live life with dignity, it includes right to having basic means, having access to basic means, food, shelter, a decent standard of living, like you would live, for example, with your husband, or you were having a good life before you got married. So he has to provide that to you. So a lot of women who in fact come to me, who are going through a lot in their married life. Say, for example, they're going through domestic violence, they are being subjected to mental, physical, financial cruelty. They come often and they say that we are subjected to this and we don't know what we are supposed to do. Now, these are one bunch of women who are at least aware or conscious of what is happening to them. But there are other set of women who don't even know what domestic violence is all about. or they don't know what really constitutes cruelty. They
So
only
does
think that, okay,
one minute I would like to ask, so does domestic violence only mean the physical aspect, or is it
exactly, I was coming to
mental
that.
aspect?
Yes, no, it does not only mean physical. It can mean mental. It can mean
Will have the
financial.
tendency to taunt and say a lot of things. So I think that should also come under violence.
Absolutely. Abusing,
Mhm.
physical, mental abusing, outraging a woman's modesty, insulting her, calling her names, speaking to her in a derogatory language. All these things pretty much constitute domestic violence. And I think it's very important that we as women learn to stand up for our rights, because we don't want to be oppressed. We don't want to be. Absolutely, Madhu. Yes, I did mention financial as well in the first part as well. Thank you again. So, if we are deprived of these basic aspects, it really completely uh, we become more victimized to oppressive nature and behavior from men, and not only men. So like under Domestic Violence Act, why do I emphasize on this act a little more is because it came in the year 2005, and it's been pretty reformatory in a lot of ways, because we have everything under that one code, which was not really codified. Before that, it was a little all over the place. So we have a lot of definitions, what constitutes it. In fact, they also say that the Supreme Court, in one of the landmark judgments of Hiral Harsura versus Kusum Harsura, who's been our client as well in the past, has said that the respondent, so respondent is someone who against you file a case, the respondent can also be a woman. It's not necessary that only a man can subject you to domestic violence. A woman can also subject another woman to a domestic violence case. As long as they're sharing the same share, they're living in a shared in a household, which is shared household. So this is only one aspect of what right we have with respect to domestic violence. So whenever we are facing a situation like that, we need to call up. If we are feeling, there are some women who don't speak up. They feel it's a taboo to speak up about these things. So it's important that they can call up. It's become very user friendly. So they can call up a helpline number, which is 1901 and 181, which is operative all over India, or you can just call the police at 100. So this is one aspect to it. Else, alternatively, you can always go and seek help from a lawyer. Even if you don't want to do that, say, for example, you don't have enough funds. There are some women who really don't have the financial means to afford litigation. They can avail legal aid free assistance, legal aid free help from lawyers who don't charge anything and provide assistance, and help you to fight the case. So these are few aspects of how women can really address these issues. Also, if the women itself don't want to file any case, or they are feeling, or sometimes they are completely, cornered in one house or isolated in one room, there are such severe cases as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. So if they can't get out of their home, then neighbors can do it. The friends can do it. Someone else can do it on their behalf. So there are a lot of ways and avenues we can work around. So there is basically the law has left us no option that you can't go and make a complaint. Everything has become really accessible, approachable, and way easier, in this modern technology that we use. We can also send emails if we don't want to go directly to the police station, to the local police station, which applies to your jurisdiction. Or assuming you don't even have that, you can register a zero FIR, which can be taken at any police station, and then they allocate that case to the police station where the crime is really attracted or applicable. So this is one part of our women's rights. Now, when I come to other rights, for example, right of abortion, we have a right. Married and unmarried women both have a right to decide what they want to do with their bodies. It's a prerogative of a woman to decide whether she wants to have a child or she doesn't want to have a child. So we have an Act of Medical Termination of Pregnancy, Act 1971, wherein you can terminate your pregnancy up to 24 weeks. Now, I'm just going to be, Minocha, I'm just going to be quickly discussing, in brief, each of our rights, and then maybe we can delve into the details, maybe in the next session, or if we are left with any time in this session as well.
Okay.
I'll be happy to help. Next is our maternity leave. Okay. So we have the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, wherein wherein we are entitled to leave of 26 weeks for a pregnant woman, and for the first 2 children, and then for the third child or more, it's 12 weeks. Or if a woman wants to adopt, she can also do the same, and she gets 12 weeks leave. There are a lot of times employers, when they sense that a woman is pregnant, they end up cutting her pay or they terminate her services illegally. Yeah. But the Maternity Benefit Act really protects us from this aspect, and we can enforce our remedies under that. Then comes our right to equal pay, which comes under the Equal Remuneration Act 1976, wherein the law says that both men and women have an equal opportunity to get the same remuneration for the same post or a similar kind of work of similar nature. There have been times when there has been, even as on today, there's a lot of disparity between men and women when it comes to payment and the same scope of work, where do we have any more joinings? I see, sorry. Oh, nice. I see a lot of men as well. That's nice. I hope they don't get intimidated. So, yes, where was I? So, yes, equal pay. Yeah. So, men and women have an equal opportunity of work and pay. And I think it's very important that women, first, before enforcing their rights or being aware of their rights and remedies, we must learn to be financially independent. Because once we are financially independent is where we will start becoming more and more aware of what entails living a life of decency, of dignity, of integrity. So we must first of all learn to be financially independent. And our law also provides us to do the same by the Equal Remuneration Act. So we must enforce our rights there. We, of course, as we all know, the rampant or the most serious crimes like rape, like stalking, like voyeurism, outraging modesty, sexual harassment at workplace as well, we can, very well adopt criminal proceedings for the same. And with regards to sexual harassment at workplace, there is a certain internal complaints committee which is constituted where you have employees, 10 or more employees. You can go and make your complaints out there, and they will look into the issues at hand and they will resolve it. So there is no need to shy away from any kind of obscene kind of exchange of messages, or any, when employers try to, victimize women by offering them very lucrative promotions, and under the disguise of offering or making some sort of remarks against them, or some sexual offenses, like molestation as well. So we can pretty much take action against that as well. Right, against domestic violence, as we've already discussed, dowry is also very discouraged by the Honorable Supreme Court time and again, where you have the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, where in any case of suicide within a period of 7 years from the date of marriage is a strong suspicion that there has been a case of dowry, unless there are, of course, exceptions to the rule. Thereafter, there have been a lot of cases. I'm not sure if most of you would be aware. Would you all like to discuss with me? Minocha, would you like to discuss with me? Are you aware of like the Air India case where the air hostesses where there have been regulations where air hostesses were discriminated, women air hostesses were discriminated with respect to their employment, or a certain, certain regulations. Like, let me give you an example. If they would resign at the age of 35 years, if they become pregnant, they will lose their job. They're not supposed to marry for the first 4 years of their employment. Are you aware? Like there's something like this, but the Supreme Court has deprecated this and said that no, we must give women the respect and the due regard for what they are doing, for the work they are putting in, and we must not discriminate them on basis of their gender or caste or sex, which is also a very important tool or very important right under the Constitution of India as well. Then we have the Shah Banu case, which discusses about the right of maintenance, on how, which is a very age-old case, a very landmark, very celebrated case, where she was a Muslim and she had fought for her rights with regards to maintenance. And she filed her case under Section 125 of the CRPC, and she got her right. So the point is that we really need to wake up to how we don't need to be oppressed, or we don't be subjected to any sort of atrocities in our society. And the reason why I say that is because we are the prime givers when it comes to family. We are also now providers, and we also take care and bind the family. And I'm very happy that the Supreme Court has also upheld the rights of women, and they are recognizing the rights of women more and more, and it's improving as we speak. In fact, I must mention that our Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud, has also been very encouraging when it comes to women's rights. He has mentioned in one of his speeches that women must be given more recognition, in fact, in the legal industry as well. Because, Minocha, it will be it's quite a paradox that we belong to the legal fraternity, but we are also discriminated when it comes to men, because the legal industry is a very male-dominated society. Right. And a lot of people don't like speaking about this, but it is, it's so stark, that I couldn't wish but avoid this. I just couldn't avoid this topic. And, in fact, there have been times when men choose men to give a brief over a woman, because they feel a man can do a better job when it comes to arguing in court or representing the case over a woman, which is, as I mentioned, is discussed by our Chief Justice, and he encourages that he would like to see a lot of women at the bar and as judges as well. In fact, women are also been given a lot of rights when it comes in public offices. So we have at least 1/3 of seats allocated to women in public offices, in municipal bodies, whether rural or urban. It is also mandatory to have at least one woman director on the board of the company as well, in every listed company, or every other public company having paid up capital of 100 crores or a turnover of more than 300 crores. So that is with respect to when we say about Companies Act. So women are recognized. My point is that women are recognized in every aspect of society, be it work, be it cultural, be it social, be it economic. Even tribal women are given a lot of rights. In fact, the Supreme Court has mentioned in one of the judgments that when non-tribal women can have a right to property, why not tribal women as well? Mm-hmm. So, these are few of the cases I thought I should also discuss with you, just to give you an idea on how our Indian judiciary is really, what is the tone of the Indian judiciary when it comes to women, and how proactive are the judges in India with respect to promoting women's rights. Meenu?
Yes, so perceptions have changed, but I think on the whole, society needs to be proactive about it, because as you said, you're still being discriminated even in the legal area.
Absolutely.
So the mindset needs to be changed a lot, needs to be worked on a lot. So then only I think the women will get a freer hand in every place.
Absolutely.
There are so many women who I've come across that they are suffering a lot at home, and they're just accepting it. They're not taking any steps to come out of it. So how can we encourage them? Okay, you have the right to speak up and not suffer so much. So
I think Minoji, I feel the apprehension that people feel in our country is that this is my notion. I mean, you can give me your take on it as well, because it seems that even if you speak to women, I guess you've heard something from them. I feel they get discouraged that our Indian courts are very slow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel they also have a notion that litigation is very expensive, and it's only for the rich, and it's like a luxury. I think these are the apprehensions on people's minds. So we need to break that down for them, and we need to make them aware, as I mentioned in the first half of my talk, on how it's not necessary that you only need to go to a lawyer if you're not comfortable, if you don't have the financial means, but we as you know, I practice in all different areas of the legal industry, civil and criminal both. And we ensure that, as a lawyer as well, I feel it gets really frustrating for a litigant to come to court every time and, just come and take a date, for example, or there's no proceeding or there's nothing moving. But we ensure, because we are sensitive to how people feel and these basic rights, the basic remedy, which should not be left uninvoked. They must come forward and exercise them. So we encourage them to do that, and we expedite the cases depending on the circumstances of the case. There are a lot of times where I do understand there are good and bad in every field, and I'm not commenting on anyone here, but maybe it's beyond the lawyer's circumstances. Well, that yes, dates are taken, too often sometimes, which discourages litigants to come ahead and fight for their rights. So first, I feel it's important that yes, we do realize and become more aware and agile about our rights. And the second step is to raise our voice against it and to invoke our remedies and to enforce them, because courts are also very encouraging with respect to women's rights, and they don't sit down and just, don't do anything about it. Like, for example, um, when I talk about women's right to maintenance, there's a Supreme Court judgment wherein now, because I guess there was a lot of delay in enforcing or giving women right to maintenance, which used to get, unnecessarily prolonged for no rhyme or reason, or, either party is exaggerating their amount, or the husband is saying, no, I don't earn so much, or the wife is saying, no, my living conditions are too poor, and just exaggerating those versions a little more. So in order to narrow it down or to crystallize it, now parties in such cases have to file an affidavit on oath and declare or state on oath certain details with respect to their working condition, whether they have children or no, what is the husband's financial position, where does he work, how much salary he gets, what about his income tax returns. So, whether you've availed a loan. So these are only just few aspects to it, So once that comes on record, things are expedited a little faster in court. So these are various checks and balances, which keep coming in. Amendments keep, there are a lot of amendments on regular basis to ensure that whatever teething problem people are facing, it's completely eradicated and law becomes more accessible to all and everyone, and not only to few chosen.
Yes. So I think the need is to spread more awareness that yes, you can be proactive about things.
Absolutely. And as I said, like it's way more accessible, Minocha, than before. It is not, before it used to be, I feel at the time when the Shah Banu case and all those cases were going on, it was a little more conservative.
Yeah.
But I feel now, compared to that era,
yes,
now it's way more. Yes, now it's way more digitized. Yes. It is more, you can go ahead, you can do phone calls to the police station, as I mentioned, if you don't want to step out of your house, or you can even write a complaint to them. Someone else can do it on your behalf. So there's no reason that you shouldn't go and complain. It's absolutely safe, and it's very approachable for everyone.
So that was amazing information, Fatima. Really enjoyed getting to know all that. Very enlightening. So I would like to open the floor and invite anybody else if they would like to ask any questions or give any comments.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello.
Actually, I want to know whether
your voice is very low. We're not able to hear it. And if you would like to come on camera.
I'm somewhere else. I can't open camera. Sorry.
Okay.
I want to know whether this group is only for legal awareness and or to do something else in ground level.
At the moment, we're just like bringing in that legal awareness.
Okay.
And later on, we'll see if we can get down to the ground level as well.
Okay.
We've just begun in this field. We're just trying to find our way ahead.
Okay, great. Actually, since 2-3 years, I'm working for domestic violence victims.
Okay.
And in my experience, all laws are there for ladies. But in ground level, nothing has changed.
That's what I was asking, Fatima. People are not aware also that what constitutes violence, domestic violence.
Exactly. As I mentioned in the first session, in the first part of my talk, that there are two bunches of women. One who are aware and one who are not aware.
Right.
And the ones who are aware also are broken down again in two parts: who
Yes.
want to approach the court and who don't want to approach the court.
Exactly.
So I feel NGOs are some organizations who can do a lot for people, to begin with. I am aware of few NGOs who do women causes and who are into it, but reaching again yet to a lot of women in our population is a little challenge. But I feel if we have, Minocha, if we have like these talks often about women's rights, because it's never an old topic.
Absolutely.
It's never done. It's never all spoken about. There's so much to talk about it. And if we talk about it more and we invite more people and more people are aware, I think awareness is very important. Education is very important. Once it reaches to everyone, is when people will really move. But I feel nowadays, like with the kind of clientele I get, I have noticed a change in the graph. So I do see a lot of women speaking up. I see a lot of women.
I think because more women have become independent, so they're becoming more aware. Yes.
Absolutely. So a lot of men, let me give you an example. A lot of men don't like their women working.
Yeah.
And the reason why they don't like them working is because once financial independence kicks in, they are intimidated. Yeah, and they're scared that the women will go out of our hands,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And that is also only one solution for all these problems.
That's true.
Financially independent.
Hanji. So, yes, Dr. Nupur, would you? Yes, Madhuji. Yeah.
One thing I want to suggest, we should work in ground level.
Okay. So we can look into that aspect of it since you have brought it up.
We all, in fact, in the group, I think we all know laws, and and that will not take too much time to be aware.
Yes.
But we should work in ground level. That is my suggestion.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes, Nupurji, would you like to comment or ask something?
I would like to say something that your talk was very beautiful, very impressive, and yes, we are not aware of few things, but I would say that sometimes, most of the time, women are suppressed due to family pressure. What do you have to say about that? Because even if they want to go, they can't go. Seeing that they have children, they have other financial problems also because they are not earning. So how they will pay for the fees of the lawyer and go to the court or anything like that, and they are restricted in terms of financial aid and family pressure. What do you have to say about that? Because most of the women are like this; they are suffering silently.
Absolutely. They suffer silently through their life, and they don't speak up anything. When it comes to not having the financial means, Nupurji, as I mentioned earlier, there are legal aid services where you get free legal assistance, be it advice or be it, fighting for you in court as well. So that is taken care of. Now, when it comes to the aspect where you're talking about society pressure or family pressure of not speaking up, I think that is also sort of an oppression and a domestic violence. Because I think there's a very thin line, In fact, the Supreme Court in one of their judgments just recently said that role of a mother is more important than the role of a wife, and we shouldn't, having said that, we shouldn't be cowed down by the fact that if we don't speak up for ourselves, we will not be able to take care of others around us, and we will always be in this vicious cycle, and we just end up taking and dragging other people as well, our loved ones, in the vicious cycle. So unless we don't fill our cup full with water, we won't be able to fill or help other people. You know, in the airlines, they mention that put your mask first on, the breathing mask on, oxygen mask on, and then help others. So it's a similar concept. I think first we need to learn to protect ourselves before we can help anyone else. Because it's not being selfish. I think it's a part of like being caring or selfless with regards when it comes to others. So I don't think women should really give in to family or society or children pressure. It's not a taboo. You know, a lot of people, a lot of rape victims as well, when they are going through this ordeal and this trauma of being subjected to such a severe crime, you know, they don't speak up. They feel they are the wrong ones, or they feel like I'm like a stigma to society. But that is not how it is. And now people are really opening up their eyes to that as well. That is something where unfortunately the law can't really push you to come to court. You have to take a decision for yourself, and rest everything just falls in place.
That's why when society has to become, women in society have to become more proactive about it.
Thank you so much for the beautiful clarification. And I hope that all the women who are hearing us and they are keeping mum, they should open up, come forward and open up and take help of the law. And I have heard, and rather I would say I know about that. If a woman is there, women and child are there, then the court will give them a lawyer free of cost. Is it true?
Yes, that's true. If you don't have the means, and in fact, when you file a case in court, there are certain privileges for women where you don't have to pay complete court fee. There's a certain category of women is there as well there. So, I mean, there are all provisions. It's just about using the right ones and going to the right lawyer who's aware of these provisions, who can help you to come out of it and deal with it appropriately. So, Nupurji, I would just like, if I have your and Meenuji's permission, I would like to hear from this one gentleman, Manish. He's actually my client, and I would like to know what he has to say about women's rights.
Yes, please, Manishji, if you'd like to come on screen and share your views. He was driving earlier, actually, I think.
I'm playing around with the buttons and I'm just...
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Basically, this was quite a bit of information about women's rights and awareness. And we really need to be aware and make all the women aware about all this. That will be like, it's like a good first step. And it's great that you're taking such initiative and trying to spread awareness. And as Fatima ji is also quite proactive on it, and she's also always being very helpful to her women clients, as I'm aware about it. So people should take advice of such advocates, and there should be more such advocates and people come out and spread the awareness and show their readiness to help in any case whatsoever. So it was a good piece of information, Fatima ji.
Thank you
Please
so much.
keep it up. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, thank you.
Meenuji, to end this, I would just like to add like one sentence that feminism is not about being over or above the man. That's not what feminism is all about. Feminism
this topic of yours, feminism, it will need one whole session. You can't wind it up in a line, I'm sorry.
Uh, great.
Yes, true. That you're right. It is a detailed discussion and a
Yes.
detailed. True, true. But all I want to say is, we just want to have that equal opportunity in every aspect of our life, and we want to be at par with the man. That's all we're asking.
Yes.
And when the law is willing to do that for us, we must grasp the opportunity immediately.
I would
Thank you,
like to
Manish,
say
for
something.
supporting me.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would
Nidhi.
like to say something
Yeah.
about this. First of all, I would like to send a message to all mothers who have girl child that you should equip all your children, girl children, with the awareness about their legal rights. Most of the time it happens that they don't know and they pass on this information to their children. So what happens that children also doesn't know, they are not aware, and in that case they keep on suffering. So this is a message I would like also Fatima to say a few words on this thing also, that how they should equip their children. um because I have done it. So that's why I want you to say something about this. Because mothers, if they don't say and stand up for their right, children will also not stand up.
Right.
So please, Fatima, could you say something about this?
Absolutely. I think it's imperative that we teach these values or these basic rights, remedies, privileges that we all have in the society, or form part of a culture or a custom or a law to our children from the very start. That is from the time they are in school and even before that. I think parents need to inculcate this in their children even before they go to school, and it should be a part of the syllabus, uh, wherein one particular aspect of their studying should only be dedicated to women rights, because I feel there's also a lot of poverty in our country, unfortunately, and the population, because of which it becomes very difficult to penetrate through the society and educate everyone. There are a lot of people who are not even willing to educate themselves about these issues. So it's necessary that we take this up on a war footing basis and fight for things like this to be a part of school syllabus or college as well. It should be ingrained from the very start. It should be a part of our being.
Yes.
I
Thank
I
you.
think I'm sorry. I think first
Dhanyavad.
things all mothers should come forward in a way to make their daughter strong enough from the childhood. It's observed that certain mothers and women are also not encouraging women to come in front line and to know her rights and use her rights. So I think that is the basic root of problem sometimes, that daughters are not taught by their mothers or their elder sisters or elder women in the family, and they don't create awareness about their own rights. So I think that thought process should change, and all women basically should now, be it mother or sister or at any position, they should like teach them awareness or make them strong and aware about such dealing with such things.
Very true. Very true.
Yes, so true. Thank you so much, Manishji.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Coming from you, it is really a blessing. And all
Absolutely.
men should follow
Yes.
this, and they should have awareness of this. So thank you so much for being clarifying and really supporting women and mothers and girl children. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think, yes, Fatima ji, we'll have to wind up. It's well past our scheduled time. So any final
Yes.
words you would like to say?
I would just like to say that this is a great gift for everyone on International Women's Day.
Yes.
To educate themselves more and more, to become more aware and exercise those rights.
Yes, absolutely.
Without any fear.
So on that note, we will wind up for today and looking forward to the next session on next Sunday. And thank you everyone for joining in. It was, and all of you have a super day ahead, Sunday.
Much, Meenu.